Hi, what's up guys? Yeah, there is something different about me. That's right, my eyebrows. That's right, I got them done yesterday. Definitely not my red hair. Yes, I dyed my hair red. We are in a new era, guys. We are in the hyperpop era. I'm gonna be releasing my first hyperpop song here on the main channel. No, I do not have any music out besides a song called Pop Off here on the channel. It's not on streaming services. It was just for fun. This is my first song that I'm really taking serious. I'm not gonna talk too much about it because you guys will see it when it comes out and I'll let that speak for itself. It'll be out in February or March at the latest. Anyway, today we're gonna be talking about dark cartoon theories. So I was like, finally an original video idea, but then I see Blame It on Jorge made it like 9 years ago. By the way, Blame It on Jorge, I'm so happy that you know I exist. One of my idols realizing that I exist, it means a lot to me. So Blame It on Jorge, if you're watching this, I love you, man. I genuinely love you. So I was like, how do I make this a little bit different? Well, today we're talking about dark cartoon theories and video game theories. We're doing 5 of each in order to make this list of 10. So it's a combination list, okay? Make sure to go follow me on Instagram at my name is Tuv if you guys want to see a Mexican kid spam his story for 24 hours straight. Thank you guys for, how many subscribers do we have? Thank you guys for 474,000 subscribers. We are 26,000 subscribers away from 500,000. That's 500,000, and thank you guys so much. This is insane. You already know how much I love you. So let's save this. Let's save that speech for the 500K. We're not making a special. It'll just be a regular video where I talk about it, okay? But let's save that for that. By the way, like always, all my sources will be linked down in the description below. I just want to make it clear that I am not coming up with these theories, just reading them off websites. All my links and sources and authors of the theories will be linked down in the description below. Anyway, let's get started with the video. Animal Crossing. Your character is being abducted. Animal Crossing. A game where the player assumes the role of a human character who moves into a rural village populated with anthropomorphic animals and lives there indefinitely. Many people love it because of how cute the style is, how it makes you feel important using time-based game functions, and because it's Animal Crossing. Come on. Personally, I've never played Animal Crossing. I know, guys. I know. I'm sorry. I actually did buy my girlfriend a Nintendo Switch and Animal Crossing for $500, and then we broke up a few months later. We broke up because she had to go to college in another state, and I wanted to stay here in LA. So the fact that that Nintendo Switch is in her dorm while she moves on is, I think about that a lot. Anyway, this theory states that in Animal Crossing, specifically Wild World and City Folk, your character is being abducted and used for child labor. When the games start off, you're in the back of a cab or a bus. No context to how you got there. You just wake up in a seat. And Cap'n shares a striking resemblance to the mythological creature known as Kappa. The mythological creature known as Kappa hunt humans, and yes, that includes children since they are easier targets. Though they are incredibly smart and choose which humans to befriend, Kappa are known to help people by irrigating fields, befriending lonely children, competing with adults in sports and games, and so on. Yes, befriending lonely children. Look at their design. That's literally Kappa. That's a Kappa. Like, there's no way the Animal Crossing designs didn't base the design off of Kappa. They knew what they were doing. In an island where you can't leave because you will be stopped by guards, so you're forced to stay, an island that's run by furries. No, I'm just kidding. An island that's run by anthropomorphic animals and where you're forced to work sounds a bit off to me. Not to mention that Tom Nook upgrades your house with or without your permission, keeping you in constant debt. So in the end, you're never able to leave. You're just a slave. You are a slave. Can I say that? Am I gonna get demonetized for saying that? I give this theory 9 out of 10 of my ex's Nintendo Switches. I think it's really good. I really like it. Not saying that child labor is cool, but I'm just saying the Kappa part and the part where you get, yeah, I think it's a good theory. I think it's a good theory overall. And yeah, let's head on over to the next one. Courage the Cowardly Dog. There are no monsters. I had to change my shirt because my camera died. Hey, well, I mean, let's plug the merch a little bit. There we have Baby Earl. He's a baby and he's Earl, so there's the link. Courage the Cowardly Dog is a fan favorite for all spooky lovers. We have spoken about this show previously on this channel, and I'm very aware that a lot of you guys love it, but I found a theory that makes more sense than I initially thought. This is a show about an ironically brave dog that always ends up saving his owners from some scary monsters. The show aired on Cartoon Network from 1996 to 2002. The theory states that there were actually never any monsters, and this is proven by the fact that Eustace and Muriel aren't afraid of anything. They act like everything is normal because, well, to them, it is. Courage the Cowardly Dog is just a regular dog that sees everyone else that isn't his owners as a threat. Kind of like when your dog doesn't stop barking Because the mailman is outside. He's just trying to protect you. People also like to say that they don't actually live in the middle of nowhere. Courage only thinks this because he never goes outside. So all of the outside adventures are just in his head or maybe even his dreams. In the final episode of season 1, Courage can be seen puppeteering his owners. Now, it's up for the audience whether they want to take this as canon or not, but if you do, then there's another theory that basically says that after this episode, everything is just imagination. Personally, I don't like this because if everything is going to be imagination afterwards, it's literally the same as the stuff that was happening before. It is odd though how Eustace and Muriel never react to the monsters nearby. It seems as if Courage is the only one with common sense. I give this theory 7 dog treats out of 10. Hey guys, I just want to interrupt the video really quick because I want to give you guys an update on my Patreon. My Patreon is no longer a place where I will upload uncensored versions of my videos or gore, simply because it's against Patreon guidelines. They actually got mad at me and my account was on a really bad standing with them. Luckily, I was able to speak with a representative and read the rules again. My Patreon is now a place where you guys can talk to me directly, and what I mean by that is by using the $5 version, you guys get a special role on my Discord where I always talk to you guys in that special chat. So if you get that role, you're allowed in the Patreon chat, and that's where I talk to you guys and give you guys, I just talk to you guys like friends, right? So that's just for $5. And for $15, which is the other option, I removed the $10 option. There's no point in it. So for the $15 version, you guys will get my YouTube videos earlier than everyone else. So if you want to see the videos before anyone else, then get the $15 version. I'm not forcing you guys to buy it at all. You all can spend your money however you want, but I'm just updating you guys for the people who care. Anyway, back to the video. Super Mario. Every game is just a performance. One of my personal favorites on this list has to be the Mario theory. So I'm sure all of us have played Mario games before, and if you haven't, I'm sincerely sorry for you. The Mario franchise includes a plethora of different games, including the likes of go-karts, tennis, platforming, fighting, Olympics, traveling to outer space, jumping through paintings. Yeah. You get the idea. Anyway, this theory states that all of the characters in the games are simply actors, and all of the games are just TV shows. Let's start with Super Mario Bros. 3. So the game quite literally opens up with curtains. We can also see that the platforms are bolted to the background, and their shadows are most likely being shined upon by a studio light. And whenever you finish levels, the exit portions look a lot like the backstages of venues. In other levels, we can see that the platforms aren't just floating, they're being hung off screen. This theory also compares the Mario Party series to real-life game shows and says that the reason Bowser and other enemies aren't actually enemies in certain games is because they're just actors. Also, Lakitu, the character that literally follows Mario and the crew around as your point of view. I always liked how you can see Lakitu in the mirrors in Super Mario 64, but this character alone is what really made me question the authenticity of this theory. Shigeru Miyamoto confirmed this back in 2015, putting all of the theories to a satisfying rest. I also want to throw in the Super Smash Bros. They're all just toys theory. The intro to Super Smash Bros. 64 shows all of the characters being taken out of a treasure box by Master Hand, which is most likely a child's hand. I'll give this theory 6 Mario hats out of 10. Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It was all for publicity. One of the most popular theories regarding the Sonic the Hedgehog movie is that the studio made a purposefully bad trailer in order to generate buzz. The idea likely started because fans couldn't fathom a world where any designer would think human teeth on a hedgehog would be anything but nightmare-inducing. But even without the horrific hedgehog design, there are a lot of red flags that have given fans pause. No matter how much fans dislike something in a movie, it's extremely rare that a movie studio would make a change to something already in post-production. The cost alone of redesigning and re-rendering the main character after the whole movie is unrealistic. This is especially true in an industry that is driven by profits. The math of having to change the bad Sonic design for a fan-friendly one doesn't match up with the studio's bottom line. The studio acknowledged fan outrage and vowed to redesign their main character, causing fans to speculate that the horrible design was never intended to be final. This theory suggests that the studio released a purposefully bad trailer in order to garner media attention and make fans feel like their voices were heard. I've always thought about this. My cousin George, aka Red Wizard, some of you guys know him, he's such a big fan of Sonic, and I always tell him this, like, there's no way they literally re-rendered Sonic. Like, they had to just render those 2 minutes for the bad trailer, then generate that buzz, which is incredibly smart. I don't even think this is a theory, but it's never been proven, so it is. I'm gonna have to give it 11 echidnas. Is that how you say it? Echidnas? Echidnas out of 10, because it has to be true. I'm a strong believer of this. Sonic was ugly, and now he's not. Ed, and Eddy. Ed, Edd, and Eddy Are Dead. Ed, Edd, and Eddy was a slapstick comedy show that ran on Cartoon Network from 1999 to 2009. The series revolved around three preteen boys named Ed, Double D, and Eddy, who lived in a suburban cul-de-sac in a fictional town named Peach Creek. Did you guys know what cul-de-sac meant? Because I had no idea until I had to do research about this. It's a dead-end street with houses living around it. Anyway, the trio frequently invent schemes to make money from their peers to purchase their favorite candy, jawbreakers. Their plans usually fail, leaving them in various, often humiliating predicaments. This theory explains how all the kids in the show are actually no longer alive and died years before, each one dying in a different era. The first piece of evidence to support this show taking place in the afterlife is the tongue colors. As we all know, when people die, they lose color. This includes our tongues. The children have green and purple tongues. There also isn't a given time frame for when the show is taking place. In one episode, the kids are using typewriters, and in another, they're using computers. In the entirety of the show, adults are mentioned but never seen. The closest we get is in the Big Picture Show movie, and that's when Johnny is riding the bus, but no adult faces are shown, kinda like Tom and Jerry. This only makes the audience question how the children survive without any parental guidance. Now let's get into the deeper portion of this theory. Personally, I think it's a little bit corny, but these are fun theories, and this is a fun video, so don't take any of this seriously. I mean, think about it. It's just a theory. No, not a game theory, a dark cartoon theory on the Tub channel. Anyway, the characters in the show all died in different eras, so let's explain who died in what year and why. First, we have Rolf. No, not that Rolf, who was a boy from the early 1900s belonging to a family of farmers. So each of these characters had a way that they died, and I just don't want to include some of them because it just goes so overboard. Like, literally one of the characters was R-worded, and it's like, literally someone made this up as a theory. So let's head on over to Johnny. Johnny was a boy from 1922 who died of tuberculosis and had no friends other than Plank. Yeah, see, like, I don't know why tuberculosis, like, why it get specific, you know, that's what I'm trying to say. Eddy died in 1939 during the Great Depression, and before his death became a great schemer in order to save up money for jawbreakers. Ed and Sarah died in 1953 and were alive during the Second World War. Due to their parents not being around much, Sarah became very controlling and Ed became extremely distant with reality, just distracting himself with comics and television. Double D died in 1986 and was very influenced by his parents' strict rules, which eventually followed him into the afterlife. Kevin died in 1999 due to a drunk and abusive father. He became a bully to cope with how things went at home. And Jimmy died in the early 2000s due to leukemia. The only characters in the show with normal colored tongues are the Canker sisters, which are the antagonists of the show that bully the rest of the kids. And the only other character with a pink tongue is Eddy's older brother. This theory also states that these characters are demons that torment the kids after death. As a kid, I had the fattest crush on the girl with the blue hair, man. I also liked Gwen, Raven, Nikki. Yeah, I definitely have a type. You definitely definitely have a type. Anyway, I give this theory 4 out of 10 jawbreakers. And you guys let me know what you guys think about each theories in the comments below. Not because I care about your opinion, because I want the engagement. I'm just kidding. I do care, and I always heart your guys' comments, so make sure to genuinely let me know what you guys think. Anyway, on to the next theory. Hey guys, I want to take a few seconds out of today's video to thank today's sponsor, Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club delivering awesome boxes of top shelf goods from under the radar brands, and it's free to join. Every month they introduce their members with brand new products. Based on a preference quiz that you fill out, they will send you outdoor gear, bearware, home and kitchen goods, clothing, and so much more. Their box lineup changes consistently every month. There is a huge range of box choices beyond the ones I'm about to show you. Every box has around $70 in retail value, but costs only $45. You get to preview your box before it's shipped, and if you like it, you get to keep it. If you don't like it, you can choose a different box, or you could just skip out on the month and not be charged at all. You only pay for what you want. Alright, so I was actually sent 3 boxes, which I'm about to show you. I was sent the Flame Box. This is literally a personal fireplace. All you need is a little bit of alcohol and some fire. I used a piece of paper and I dropped it in because I do not have those long lighters. Make sure to have it in a safe location. But yeah, very warm and very cozy, especially for wintertime. I was also sent the Tanto box. It's this amazing knife that I use all the time now to open up my packages, and this is the first time I've ever actually flawlessly cut through cardboard. It slices like butter. And last but not least, I was sent the Beam box. This came with a headlamp. It is so bright, it looks like it's daytime whenever I use it. And I really love that it comes with a few filters, like the green and red one. To get 20% off your first box, click the link in the description and enter TUV20 or go to bspk.me/TUV20. Thanks to Bespoke Post for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to
dark cartoon and video game theories.
Garfield. Garfield starved to death. We all know Garfield as the lazy fat cat who loves lasagna. Not lasagna. La Nazga. In 1989, a Halloween special Garfield comic appeared in local newspapers. This comic showed Garfield waking up in his house in the middle of the night. Allow me to read the strips for you guys. Brr. There's a chill in here this morning. What an eerie sensation. This doesn't feel like my home. To be continued. So yeah, these comic strips would come out daily. It wasn't like they just got all of them in one page. Nah. If back in the day, I guess you would have to wait for these local newspapers to come out every day. So you would have to go find one really quick. Dude, I look insane. Oh my god, because I got a haircut. Like my hair's a little bit shorter than usual. I look insane. Bro, can you guys at least see my wings in the back? Anyway, let's continue. John, Odie. Anybody home? I'm alone. You have no idea how alone you are, Garfield. Steady, Garfield. There must be a good reason why the house is empty. John must be at the grocery. Then we see that the house Garfield is in is actually abandoned and up for sale. Look how cute Garfield is drawn here. My home has been abandoned. No one has lived here for years. But that means I haven't lived here for years. What's that? John, Odie, you're home. Hello, Garfield. Have some food. So then when John gives Garfield the bowl and Garfield is reaching for it, John disappears. That scene was all in Garfield's head. Locked fast within a time when he no longer exists, Garfield grapples with his greatest fear. Loneliness. After years of taking life for granted, Garfield is shaken by a horrifying vision of the inevitable process called time. He has only one weapon: denial. I don't want to be alone. Want some breakfast, Garfield? Who needs it? I need you. And imagination is a powerful tool. It can tint memories of the past, shade perceptions of the present, or paint a future so vivid that it can entice or terrify, all depending upon how we conduct ourselves today. So the theory states that this is Garfield's last memory before passing away due to John not feeding him and just abandoning the house. The abandoned house part wasn't the hallucination. It was hugging John for the last time and telling him that he needs him. In Garfield's 20th anniversary collection, Jim Davis, the creator, talks about the idea behind the strips, where he says, during a writing session for Halloween week, I got the idea for this decidedly different series of strips. I wanted to scare people. And what do people fear most? Why, being alone. We carried out the concept to its logical conclusion and got a lot of responses from readers. So yeah, the theory is that every comic strip after this one is just Garfield's afterlife dreams. Don't forget that Garfield literally dies in the last comic strip peacefully in his sleep, except he didn't. That's a very big confusion on the internet because he didn't die. The comics continued after that and are still being made to this day. This definitely helps the theory out though. Like maybe Garfield's soul was finally put to peace. I give this theory 6.5 lasagnas out of 10. Adventure Time. Finn is in a coma. There are two main theories about Adventure Time, all taking place within Finn's imagination. One is that he is a normal child, but with an overactive imagination, and therefore when he is playing at home, presumably with toys or perhaps his pet dog, Adventure Time is what he sees in his mind. This could explain Finn aging in real time. He is genuinely growing up, and the episodes we see are his burst of imagination along the way. And while this theory is quite sweet and generally harmless, the other theory puts an uncomfortable dark spin on Adventure Time. The second theory, that Adventure Time is all in Finn's imagination, has a much darker backstory. It states that Finn was a lonely child with no friends other than his dog Jake. He was treated poorly by his family and only ever felt loved by his dog, who he would tell all his crazy fantasies to. When his dog passed away, Finn tried himself but ended up in a coma, where he lives in a constant state of dream in which Adventure Time takes place. In these constant dreams, he lives out the fantasy stories that he used to tell his dog Jake while being by his side the whole time, and there he will remain until he finally dies. Yeah, this theory is definitely one of the more dark ones, and it's always a little bit cliche when these theories end up having these crazy backstories that have no proof to them, right? It's just like wacky cartoon, it has to be a coma, it has to be a dream. So for that, I'm gonna give this theory 4 lumpy space princesses out of 10. Throwback. All right, so we're doing a throwback theory for this one. Minecraft. Herobrine. We all know Minecraft and we all know Herobrine. As I was making this list, I was in a little throwback mindset and I realized I don't really remember the origins of Herobrine. When I first heard about it, it was like when I was getting into Minecraft, which was like 2012. I was 10 years old. And I'm sure many of you haven't heard the OG story in a long time. So let's talk about it. Minecraft's Herobrine. The first photo of Herobrine's sighting was posted on 4chan's paranormal board, X, in August 2010, and it gained little attention. It stated how Herobrine had appeared in someone's single-player game, littering the map with various pyramids and tunnels. The post has since been deleted. It is the first media to name him as Herobrine. It was only later that Herobrine grew in popularity when the Brocraft streamer Copeland photoshopped Herobrine to several screenshots to show to his chat. He had recently taken a liking on the story and wished to be a part of it. After getting largely good reactions, he decided to stage a hoax. He has explained exactly how that took place in an email. Herobrine has the default Minecraft skin known as Steve, except his eyes are all white. Apparently, this entity would build random structures in the player's map, steal items of value, stalk the player, and eventually kill the player. As the years kept passing along and the insane growth of Minecraft was well on its deserved route, the rumor only grew more and more, leading to fan-made mods, rumors on how to summon the supposed Herobrine, and even Mojang themselves making jokes about it in patch notes and menu screens. Herobrine was never real, and no signs of him have been found in the game or in the game's code, though he lives on as one of the most legendary video game creepypastas ever. I give this theory 10 dirt blocks out of 10 dirt blocks. I really like this one because it started a whole community. Literally everyone and their mom know about Herobrine. Love this theory so much. It's not even a theory, it's just fun now. So yeah, let's head on over to the next one. Winnie the Pooh. The animals in Winnie the Pooh represent mental illnesses. Credit to this website right here. Pooh, with his attention problems, has ADD and impulsivity with obsessive fixations on honey. Eeyore is obviously suffering from depression. Tigger, with his endless energy, has ADHD. Piglet has an extreme generalized anxiety disorder. Kanga has social anxiety disorder manifesting as overprotective mothering. Owl has dyslexia. Rabbit has OCD. And of course, Christopher Robin has schizophrenia that manifests as visual and auditory hallucinations. I've heard about this theory. I think it's one of the most popular ones. Possible? I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. I give this one 5 red t-shirts out of 10. Miis. Me lore. So I thought this was a very funny one to put in. So we all know about the Wii, right? Everyone knows about the Wii, and everyone knows about Miis, the custom characters that you make. There are a lot of Mii games, right? I mean, let's start with Wii Sports, the #1 selling game for the Wii because it was a bundle with the Wii. So no shit, it's the #1 selling. But since there are a bunch of Mii spin-off games, someone decided to make a theory on the Mii lore. So this is on Reddit. It only has 86 upvotes and it was made 5 years ago. So I think me making a video on this is probably the biggest platform it's gonna get. I thought it was so interesting because I was such a big fan of the 3DS Street Pass. No one would walk around for street coins, by the way. Is that what they were called? Street coins? Just shake your DS, all right, to get them street coins and then change the date and then shake it again. This was posted on r/Nintendo by JustGaming64. I spent 2 hours on making a theory on Mii lore. Let's talk about Mii lore. No, really. After playing through the Miitopia demo, it got me thinking about what the timeline for Miis would have to be like. Now, I am self-aware of how ridiculous and impossible this all seems, since Miis are just character representations of yourself and or other people and characters, and not really meant to have any sort of main story at all, so please do not take any of this seriously. With that being said, I'm fine if you have any arguments against what I've said here through constructive criticism. So to me, it all started in the Mii Maker/Mii channel, where a single Mii is born every once in a while. Once the Miis were born, they hatched an escape plan, and once they did, they decided to create their own land, Miitopia. Many years later, there was word of the ruler of the land being kidnapped by an evil presence, and thus, chosen Miis had set out to find them, find Mii, and find Mii too. Soon afterwards, news had spread that a war was on the rise, and that in order to prove their worth, a battle of warriors had begun, Warrior's Way. Meanwhile, in another kingdom, monsters were being dealt with ninjas from above taking them down, Ninja Launcher. Eventually, some Miis who were tired of the madness and wanted some relaxation went their own ways in search of other places to meet more Miis like them, Mii Trek. Along their journey, they sometimes found strange and mysterious puzzle pieces that they would use to create pictures of random characters from what had seemed to be like other worlds. Puzzle swap. Centuries later, the Miis would eventually have their own lands and use them to do things like play games, sports, or music. Wii Sports Resort, Wii Play, Wii Fit, Wii Party. However, all was not fun in games, as soon after a while, many Miis began to slowly turn into zombies, causing an outbreak, and thus many Miis to leave their lands, with few staying to help out and take care of the others. Battleground Z. The other Miis that had left went off to start anew and hopefully start new families as well. Tomodachi Collection. Soon, the Islanders were starting to hear about challengers from all over, were starting to compete in a fighting tournament, and so both the best and worst of Miis teamed up to show what they were made of. Super Smash Bros. For Wii and 3DS. As prizes for some of the winners of the fighting games, some of the challengers gave the Miis objects from their games to use however they pleased, thus created their very own theme park, Nintendo Land. and the Miis enjoyed the many games that they played back in the good old days and wanted to experience those great days again, as well as some of the new ones, and so they did. Wii Sports Club, We Fit You, We Play Motion. The Miis loved doing what they did, and even more so much that they decided to create places based solely around the idea for people to share their thoughts on stuff they participated in, Miiverse. Eventually, they met some old and new pals who wanted to partner with them and go on grand new adventures like puzzle solving, race car driving, dancing, minigaming, and more. Insert other games that use Miis here. Many years later, the Miis would eventually learn space and travel and will go off to find new planets and galaxies while also making new friends and enemies. Mii Force. Okay, so that was the Mii lore that was made by a random Reddit user. So, wow, I didn't know there were that many Mii games. Wow, that makes me feel kind of out of the loop. This one was very interesting, man. A lot of effort into this person. Definitely well thought out. Let's be honest, there probably isn't Mii lore at all, but it was just so interesting, and there's no way Nintendo was like, you know what? Hopefully one day a random Reddit user will hit the nail on the coffin on this one. Like, no. Out of the effort, bro, I'm gonna give you a 6.9 out of 10. I'm gonna give you 6.9 Miis out of 10 Miis. Let's just fade to black. Let's fade to black so I can do a little outro. If you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like. If you guys are new to the channel and think I'm worth subscribing to, then make sure to subscribe. You guys gotta join my Discord. We're almost at 10,000 server members over there. And follow me on Twitter, buy the merch, follow me on Instagram. Also, make sure to go check out my Patreon. I upload all my videos there before they come out on YouTube. Quick update about my Patreon. I can no longer upload gore onto there because it is against community guidelines. I actually was facing some trouble because I was posting gore on there. So now there are only 2 tiers. There used to be 3, but now there are only 2 tiers. There's $5 and there's $15. For both of those options, you can get special access to my Discord and get a special role where you can get to talk to me. And if you pay $15, that's where you can get videos before they come out on YouTube. That's it. And buy my OnlyFans. I'm just kidding. I'll see you guys next time I upload.